the last 12 months, I've sold 40 paintings. Over the span of my art career, I've sold in excess of about 1,200 paintings. And I've had my ups and downs. I've had my moments where I've torn my hair out. So I'm going to outline in this video the 4 fundamental steps to selling your art and finding your niche. And I'm also going to be brutally honest and share the cons of each of these strategies. And you're going to want to stick around to the end. I'm going to share with you the PPP strategy or philosophy, whatever else rhymes with E. So do stay tuned. Right, so step number 1 is finding a venue. And this is, you don't even need social media for this. You don't need an online presence. It's really good to have an online presence. I believe you should have an online gallery, and especially for international sales. But it's also important to have a physical gallery that you have a relationship with, you build up a relationship with. And it doesn't even have to be a gallery. It can be a restaurant, it can be a brewery, it can be a coffee shop. But it's really good to have a local presence. It doesn't have to only be local. I am in a hotel that is an art hotel here where I live in South Africa. And I'm also, because I'm in the Western Cape, and I really do live in a very rural part of the area. And yeah, it's kind of in the bush, if you want to put it that way. It's like an hour from every other town that's anywhere near us. So it's important to establish a local presence, which I have done at the art hotel that's here. And I've also got a gallery that stocks my work closer to Cape Town. So it's really important. And the reason why I say it's important to have a physical brick and mortar building is because you just, you can't always rely on online sales. You should really have the best of both worlds, physical and online. I know some artists may disagree with me, but that's just in my experience. So the other reason is you have no idea where this could lead. So let me just tell you a story about, they are pretty small, the paintings that I sell in the hotel, in the gallery. They're like 20 by 20 centimeters. Sometimes I do 30 by 30 centimeters, so they're fairly small, but there's a good reason for this, which I will get to. And what happened was, when I put my work up, a local lady bought a painting, and she runs a B&B, or an Airbnb, I think. And she also had a friend who came through and stayed with her and saw the painting. So this lady has a gallery. So she wanted to come and see my work. And consequently, it led to me being in her gallery as well. So there's a lot of knock-on effects when you are at a physical gallery, especially with locals, not only for the community to know what you do, but also, where I am, especially being a hotel or an Airbnb, there's a lot of tourist trade. And so let me get to that. So that is actually why the paintings are small, because they fit into suitcases. And that's quite a fundamental step to selling your work is, how portable is it? A lot of people can't lug huge paintings around. And, I know that you can roll them up, mostly if they're on a stretch canvas, and transport them that way. But it's just so easy to slip something in your luggage. And I do the 20 by 20 box canvases. I'm going to show you what those look like. I painted black around the edges just to give it a nice professional look. But the reason why I don't do it on a flat canvas, because you can do that, absolutely. And a lot of people do like the option of choosing their own frame. But I do the box canvas because it's ready to hang. That's also quite important. People don't want to go to the extra expense of framing. Framing can be costly. If you do go for the flat canvases, the canvas panels, try to make sure that they're generic sizes like A4 or A3, so that your clients, if they don't have a big budget for a frame, can get a ready-made frame from a local home decor store, which can also, save them on cost. Otherwise, some people don't really care about the cost, and they go for nice big lavish frames, and that's great if you got the money. So the other thing that the hotel led me to was, one day I got a call from the owner, and he said, would you be interested in putting your art on flags around the hotel? There's 12 flagpoles, and we'd love to showcase your art. Well, of course, that was like a wonderful opportunity. So you never know what kind of opportunities will come your way, things that you wouldn't have imagined in your wildest dreams. I never thought I would have my art displayed around a whole building, and I will show you that in the picture here. I will also link the video at the end. I've got a really great video where the manager at the time and I unboxed the flags when they came. It was such a cool experience, nail biting, because some of these paintings were tiny little studies, and I had to blow them up onto like a 2-meter flag. And I did that by actually digitally re-rendering them. So taking the painting and just like going on my tablet and just touching it up so that it wasn't too pixelated. That's a different story. It was a very time-consuming job, but so worth it. So when we were unboxing these flags, it was such fun. They actually turned out really beautifully. So I'm going to have that video for you at the end. And yeah, you never know what opportunities may lay ahead. So being at the hotel, I got the opportunity to do my flags, and I also got another gallery approach me. And So you never know what's going to happen with these kind of things. And when you build a relationship, be super professional. And I've also got videos that I'm going to link in the pinned comments below about, how to be successful when you're an artist. And that also goes over a lot of the semantics, even the paperwork trail, the professionalism. So you can actually catch those videos down below. Okay, so now what are the cons of finding a venue? Well, now you found a venue and you've established a relationship, and the venue either changes hands or closes down. It can happen, and it has happened to me. I've been in some high-end restaurants that have closed down, and also the hotel I keep talking about, that's changed hands. And in between that transition, there was renovations being done. So for a year, I had to reestablish that relationship after they'd done the renovations. And these things happen. So just bear in mind that you might need to keep rolling with the punches and finding other venues, and just keep your options open. The second step is give your clients variety. So, have small paintings for sale, have medium-sized paintings for sale, have larger paintings for sale if you do larger paintings. I do larger paintings. In fact, I do a lot of abstract. So when I sell my smaller paintings, they are very tourist-based and, South African-based, because it's a lot of the flora and fauna we have here, especially in the region I live in. So it's very tailored to where I live. But I love doing abstracts as well. I love doing a variety of other subjects apart from the birds and the bees. Like this one and this one and this one. But sometimes large paintings take a long time to sell. So you want your bread and butter paintings. I call them bread and butter paintings because they're the ones that get you through. Sometimes I sell only 1 or 2 larger paintings in a year. So you want the little ones that will keep you going. And that's really important. I actually had a friend of mine who was a very famous South African artist. I used to work in a gallery and a framing shop, so I actually met quite a few local artists. And he was in the book of South African artists. So he was an amazing, he is, I don't think he's left us. He is an amazing impressionist artist. And he said to me, even though he sold his paintings for 5 figures, he said he also sold smaller paintings for 3 figures because that's what got him through the times when he wasn't selling. So, it's not about that you're not a good artist because you're not selling big stuff all the time. Even the best artists, like my friend, he had moments where he had to sell smaller paintings just to get through. We all have to have these coping strategies. So the other thing about giving buyers variety is prints, very big. So some people can't even afford the smaller paintings, and you want to give them the option to buy prints. And, like just for example, I sell all my art on Saatchi Art. That's an online store, online gallery. And they give the option you can buy prints from as little as $40 there, and ranging up to your bigger ticket items. So, just a site like that, and it's free. So that's really important. I also have the print on demand sites like Redbubble. You've got Zazzle, Society 6, is it? Can't remember. TeePublic, all those kind of places where you can even sell stickers and like pins and postcards. Some people like to buy postcards because it's like a mini print and it's really inexpensive. And I've even had customers writing to me, thanking me, that's so sweet, thanking me for selling my art on stickers so that they can at least afford that. I mean, that is so cool, come on. And it also costs nothing, and it brings in a great passive income. The other thing is, I don't do it anymore, but when I did do it, and I did it for a good few years, about 4 or 5 years, I would sell at local, what do you call them, like home decor stores. This particular home decor store was online. So they would sell my prints. I did specific block prints and fine art prints like A4 and A3. And that was very cool because I got a really good passive income from that. Yeah, I'm going to speak about the cons of that as well. But yeah, so there's so many ways you can sell prints and products and things like that. I sell t-shirts with my art on. Some people don't like that. Fine, you must just do what you feel is good for your career. So that's that. Now I'm going to speak about the cons. Okay, so what are the cons with, doing a variety of artworks and selling your prints and things in a variety of places? Well, there's pretty much no cons to selling your work online or having your stuff at a gallery that does its own, like Saatchi does its own print-on-demand prints. So you just have to upload the picture, it does the rest for you, and you just get the royalties. And places like Redbubble also, it's a once-off upload, and then they sort out the rest. They, print it out and send it off to the customer. You do nothing but sit back, get the royalties. But however, when you're doing something like, physically sourcing a home decor store to sell your prints for you, The downside of that is there's an outlay, and you've also got to figure out what your prints are going to look like, what supplier you're going to use, and that can be quite costly in the beginning when you're figuring that out, because sometimes you get prints that you pay for and they're not nice, so you've actually kind of wasted your money there. The other thing is, once you do that, it can be quite time consuming for little money. So when you get an order come through and you have to process that, then contact your printer, get into print it. The paperwork trail can be quite a lot. And again, you also face the reality that they may close down. In fact, that's what happened to me. I was working with like an artisan home decor store and they had to close down. I think it was a sort of ramification from COVID, which a lot of small businesses suffered with indeed. So there's always things like that can be a con with this kind of thing. I also had two printers that I worked with, and both I had credit with. Because obviously, if someone orders 10 or 20 prints, it's a hell of an outlay for you as the artist, because you normally only get paid once the prints are sent to the customer and they're happy and the feedback's great, and then the company actually releases the funds to you. But you've now outlaid for 10 or 20 prints. That can be very costly. So these two printers of mine gave me credit, which they actually revoked down the line. For whatever reason, it was also during COVID. I think everyone was just struggling and battling with the money flow, cash flow, and that became a slight problem. And then the company I was working with closed down, and I actually gave it a lot of thought. And even though I did make a good income from that, a good passive income, I decided to not pursue that avenue at the moment because I am quite busy as it is with my current projects that I'm doing. But that is something to consider. I still don't want to put you off doing it because, like I said, it can be a great passive income, but just do be aware that there can be upfront costs involved. Number 3 is doing solo exhibitions and joint exhibitions. I know some of you may balk at this if you haven't tried it before, but it really is something to consider. I've had 2 solo exhibitions in my career, not a lot, I'll tell you why, and quite a few joint exhibitions, which are probably nicer than the solo exhibitions because, a few artists band together and do it, and the burden is kind of spread out amongst the group. Solo exhibitions are, however, important because it looks great on your resume, and for potential clients, they like to see that you've done solo exhibitions. And it can be great fun, if you've got something in mind that you want to explore as a whole body of work. My first exhibition was called the Rocking Art Exhibition, where I subliminally painted to some of my most favorite artists and musicians, and it was really interesting to see what came out. It was a very abstract exhibition, and so, and I would jot down the emotions I would feel as I was listening to the music and painting whatever came through, and it was really great fun, but it was a lot of work. It really was. I'll show you some pictures here on the magic screen of the paintings from that exhibition. You also get quite attached to your work. This exhibition took me over 5 years. And yeah, they are more high-priced, high-ticket items because it took me so long. And they were pretty big as well. A lot of them were very big. You do get attached to them. A lot of them I've sort of still got in my personal collection. But I think I've sold 5. There were only 10 in the exhibition, so it took me 5 years for 10 paintings, but I will actually, I will also share in the link below, in the pinned comment and the description, my whole process, which at the time I wasn't doing videos, but I was blogging. So I did do like photographic processes of the work, and with each and every painting explaining everything. It's all down below if you're interested in taking a look. Some of the bands I did paint to were like Queen and David Bowie and Pink Floyd. So it was really interesting. The second exhibition I did, before I even go there, what really kind of stressed me out about the first solo exhibition, I am very, I don't know, what's the word for it? When you create a lot of work for yourself? I'm crazy. I'm also a musician, and my husband's a musician. So we decided with the solo exhibition, we were going to, afterwards, after the exhibition, after the opening, we were going to go, it was actually held at a hotel where there was a bar area. We were going to go and put on a concert. Why not? Why not give yourself some extra stress? And we basically did one song from each band or musician that I painted to. And look, it was great fun. I'm going to show you some pictures. And it was a great evening. It was really packed. It was a super exhibition. It was so much fun. It was a local, it was done in where I live. So all the community came out to support, and it was really a beautiful experience. But it was quite stressful. I remember learning Bohemian Rhapsody on the bass guitar, and I was pulling my hair out. I couldn't get it right, and eventually I did get it right. I wish I had footage from that, but unfortunately we only had photographs. And so that was the first solo exhibition. And the second one I did, that one was done in 2016. Then in 2018, I decided I'm going to do this again. I'm going to put myself through this again. And I did an exhibition called 42, which I'm also going to link below. This was slightly different. We didn't start to do any form of concert afterwards, like the maker. But I did decide to, instead of writing descriptions for the artwork, I did like sort of ambiguous poetry, put it that way. And the whole exhibition was centered around uh, Douglas Adams's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where the meaning of life was 42. And so the whole exhibition revolved around what is the meaning of life. Yeah, I don't go to any small measures, yeah. But it was also great fun. And I did it in another venue called the Magpie Collective, which is an amazing place. I will show you some pictures of that here as well. And amazing group of guys who run that Magpie Collective gallery space. And it was a lovely exhibition. It was almost a sellout. Again, very community based and such a lot of fun. Right, the cons of having a solo exhibition. Where do we start? Like it can be incredibly stressful, obviously. You are putting out a body of work and you're working your tush off and you're not really getting any money in the interim because you're going to get the money from the exhibition, hopefully. But that can maybe be 10 months down the line. I don't know how long it's going to take. Like I said, my first exhibition took 5 years, but that obviously I was doing on the side. So when I did the second exhibition, yeah, it was an outlay. The outlay is big. You've got to buy the canvases. Obviously, that's costly. The paint. You've got to do the advertising, so all the printing. And then it comes to the evening and you've got to provide the wine and the snacks. And all these things can be quite stressful and quite a financial outlay. So there is that factor, but it still is a lot of fun to do your own solo exhibition. I wouldn't want to put you off doing that because it's an experience, even if you just do it once. Step number 4 is listen to your clients or your would-be clients. It's so important to take the feedback that you're getting seriously. And, what do people love about your work? Wouldn't you like to know? And like, how does it make them feel? Like, and the reason why this is so important is because you want to do more of that. If people are loving what you're doing and you're getting great feedback, you can always mix it up a bit and do something different. But, when I started doing these little well, I call them minis, but these miniature studies of insects and the local flora, and like we have proteas here and all that kind of thing. It really sort of opened up a door for me because when I sit in my garden, these little critters come and sit with me, the dragonflies, the bees, we've got bumblebees, we've got butterflies, we've got everything here. Like, it's just amazing. And it opened up a new world for me, so to speak, of a local thing that I was really getting into. And the feedback that I got from the community and the people that bought my work was really amazing. One lady from the village actually came to me and she almost had tears in her eyes. And she said, your work is so special because when I look at it, I am in nature. I feel like I'm there. I feel calm. I feel the beauty of nature and our surrounds. And I'm like, oh wow, like because that's exactly why I painted. So if that's translating, I'm super happy about that. That's why I do what I do. Like I'm a really big advocate for being in nature, and we are all, and I'm guilty too. I'm on the computer a lot. I'm on devices a lot, obviously for my business, but there's nothing better than to put those devices down and go out into nature and just sit under a tree or just go and observe like what the insects are doing or listen to the birds. It's so important. Even if you in a city, go to the park, go sit there. And we don't do that enough. Ground yourself, take your shoes off, put your feet on the grass. Like we need to do more of that. We really, really do. So that's what I want to purvey in my art. And I feel like when you get that feedback that you're actually doing something right and you are invoking those feelings in people who are looking at your stuff, that's fantastic. Okay, the cons to number 4, which is listening to the feedback of your clients, can be that some people can be brutal, of course. So some feedback can be constructive criticism, which is great, and you need that kind of criticism. Some can just be brutal criticism, and nobody needs that, but you do get it in life because let's just face it, no one's going to have universal popularity. So with this, I would just say you have to grow thick skin in this business. I think as in any form of arts, whether you're a poet, a musician, an artist, a performing artist, it's all you're bearing your soul, and it can be really difficult sometimes to take on that critique. But at the end of the day, you even yourself have preferences, and you got to realize you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And if you're holding your breath for universal popularity, you are going to be holding your breath for a very long time. You're going to pass out. So the quicker you realize that you may never, ping everybody's bell, the better. And it's fine. It's actually fine. More people will be complimentative than be mean. But it's just something that comes with the territory. So don't give up. It really is still a wonderful business to be in. And I mean, who doesn't want to be an artist? Okay, so that's it. Let's do a quick recap. Number 1 is establishing a venue and establishing a good relationship with that venue. You don't know where the opportunities are going to lead, and it's super exciting. Number two is do small, mid, large range paintings, sell prints, have a variety of artwork. It'll only benefit you. Number three, get a solo exhibition under your belt if you haven't done so already, or do collaborative exhibitions. It's a great way to get to meet your community and for them to understand who you are and what you do, and for you to just get yourself out there and rip that band-aid off. And number three is listening to the feedback of your clients and even just people who've seen your work. It's really important to take on board the pros and the cons. You know, that's how you grow as an artist. Right, so in the beginning, I promised you, what is the PPP philosophy? It is positivity, professionalism, and proactiveness. I'm going to quickly outline that. So being positive is obviously beneficial for you. We all have our negative moments, our downers. It happens to everyone. And the key to this is to just find that happy place where you, even if it's like, well, I'm an artist, isn't that just like the bee's knees? You know, like I'm going to remain positive in this because I get to be creative. I get to have a job where I can express myself. A lot of people don't have that. So that's just one form of positivity. Stay positive. You're going to have those down moments, but there's always something to be grateful for, and just keep your spirits up that way. Even if it's like I say, go out into nature, find your happy spot. Number two, which is professionalism. And I've done a whole video, which I'm going to link down below in the details and in the pinned comment. And it looks like this. This is the thumbnail. Please watch it because it's all about being professional. And the third one is being proactive. So that means to roll with the punches. You know, don't stay stagnant as an artist. You've never arrived as an artist. You know, there's always something more to learn. You've got to just keep going, keep learning, keep exploring. If something that you've been doing that has been working well for the last few years is getting a bit stale and stagnant, well, change it up a bit. You know, variety is a spice of life. So never stay fixed in one place, doing one thing. If it's like a style, if it's a subject matter, if it's any of that stuff. You know, it's okay to change. It's okay to revive your style or just experiment with other things. So just be proactive, and doing those three things, I think you're going to be okay as an artist. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please do subscribe and like and share if you enjoyed this content. And like I said, I'm going to link a whole lot of things at the bottom there about how to be professional. I'm going to link my art tutorials playlist, and I hope you enjoy. Bye.